1, 2, 3.
Swing the Bop is Charlie Christian's 9-chorus improvisation on a 32-bar standard called Topsy. Charlie Christian is an Oklahoma-born guitarist who was one of the first guitar players to play the electrified guitar. At first he was using a microphone to amplify an acoustic guitar. Then as various types of guitar pickups came out, he started playing the electric guitar. And he was one of the first to not only play the electric guitar, but to invent a language for electric guitar. The language Charlie Christian created is very melodic. It's harmonically very rich. His melodies follow the chord changes very closely with tremendous density. He's like a master storyteller. He begins telling a story melodically, and then he keeps developing it, and he takes it to a conclusion, almost like you might say the end of a paragraph or the end of a chapter, at the end of each chorus. And as he gets into the next chorus, he improvises, he incorporates what he's already played, but he develops it further. Very few people can do this. 9 choruses, each one more interesting than the one that came before. What drew me to Swing to Bop when I first heard it in the early 70s was it was a completely new kind of sound, a completely unique kind of sound. It didn't sound like rock guitar, it didn't sound like Chicago blues guitar. It was a very unique sound. It sounded extremely difficult, but extremely well played, and it just pulled me in. The title of Swing to Bop is indicative of the early 40s and the progression of jazz from swing, straight swing, to more rhythmically complex and melodically complex jazz, which was called bebop. It's basically a simple swing kind of beat harmonically and rhythmically, but Charlie Christian's lines are very complex and they're very rich harmonically, so they're more where bebop was going. The guitar was an unusual instrument in a bop setting. It doesn't have the power of the piano. It did not have the penetration and the volume of a trumpet or a saxophone or even a clarinet. It had a background role in the orchestra until it became electrified. That said, people like Freddie Green, Bucky Pizzarelli, and many others were essential to the swing bands because the rhythmic propulsion they provided was not really heard, but the minute they stopped playing, everything fell apart. They were essential to the rhythmic propulsion and the sound of the band. Bucky Pizzarelli is a legendary master jazz guitar player. The rhythmic bed that he lays down, his rhythm is like a freight train. In a historical piece like this, Swing to Bop, Bucky is really the best person on the planet to play this song. I think it's important for people to know this tune from a historical perspective, to understand that a young man came out of Oklahoma, played a new instrument, a very different instrument, the electric guitar, then came up with basically a language for electric jazz guitar. I think it's important for that historical reason. For guitar players, it's a rich repository of wonderful jazz guitar ideas. We can take those ideas, use them in other places. We can take those ideas, modify them. It's an almost inexhaustible supply of guitar phrasing.